2000 AD 2391. This is my first 2000 AD review of their prog. I've used to have a subscription in 2003. That's the last time I was into it. And with just the way comics have been going recently, I found that a lot of the mainstream stuff, especially from the big two, Marvel, I don't read anything. DC, I do read Action Comics and Superman because Superman's my favorite character and I'm never going to stop reading it, regardless if it's good or bad. It has been good, though, recently, so I'm not complaining about Superman. But I've been branching out a lot, right? I've been reading all of the Spawn titles. I don't do the reviews anymore. They just weren't getting many views, so I stopped doing it. But I'm still caught up on Spawn, love it. Transformers, G.I. Joe, you guys have seen the reviews on that. So I thought, let's get back into the magazine, which is Judge Dredd. So Judge Dredd magazine, I've rekindled my subscription. I'm behind a few because it does take a while. I'm in Canada. It's coming from the UK, obviously. So it takes a few weeks to get it. So I'm always going to be behind on those. And I will start doing reviews of them. I read 469 and I've got that's in the mail, and 470 is in the mail, along with a few other things. 2000 AD, though, I'm going to stick to digital on this one. So this is a bit weird because this is an anthology book, so it's difficult to use my space system. So my space system is story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 and 2. 2 is the best you can get in any category. An anthology book that's like about 30 pages or so, very difficult to review because you're not getting into one story fully. It's like you get into one and it's in parts, right? So I'm going to try to discuss this as fairly as I can and still give you some sort of sense of what I think. The score on this is going to be decent. I've got the numbers. The score is going to be decent. It's not going to be as high as it maybe should be because a couple of stories I could not get into. That's one of the problems. The good thing about anthology books is that you got a lot of stories, variety, and and if they're all great, then it's really cool. And if a couple of them you weren't into, then you're like, well, some of them weren't that good. So, the first one is Judge Dredd, the BAM Hunters. This is, I think, like part 3 at this point. So I'll show you some of it. It looks pretty cool. Judge Dredd looks awesome. This story was pretty good. I would give this story a pass. I think it was I'll say like bad, good, amazing. So this story was good. There's this wizard guy who's fighting with Dredd and stuff like that. And then there's these necromancer guys and he's fighting them. It was fun. It's tough again because it's a, part whatever. But overall really good. So I'll give you my space ratings when I've gone through all the stories very quickly. Brink, this is part 14 of this story. I could not get into this one at all. It was difficult to understand what was going on. The art is not too bad. It's colorful and bright, but the characters, I just didn't know what was going on with these characters, so it was really difficult to get into that story. So that was one of the I would say the more negative ones, but I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just I couldn't get into it, so it's not really fair for me to say if it's good or bad. Rogue Trooper Part 6. Again, we're in a Part 6 at this point. Hard for me to really describe this one, but Rogue Trooper is awesome. He looks cool. So this is my first introduction to all these characters. This is the first prog I've read in 21 years. Okay, just so you can understand this. So you're gonna have to cut me some slack on this. This guy's wicked. This is great. Love the art here. It's very colorful. Really neat looking. It is brighter on your iPad or whatever. Oh, this is so awesome. Great shot here. So that's really cool. Yeah, love that story. Next one was Future Shocks Crescendo. This story was okay. Black and white tale, not too bad. It was okay. It was all right. Wasn't dying over it as much. I don't even exactly remember what exactly the storyline was at this point, but it was all right. And for me, the Dredd story and this one were the best. This is Silver, and it's part 2. I definitely need to go back and read part 1. This story was friggin' awesome. So cool. I like the art here. It's a little different, a little weird. It just works for me on this one. I got really into this story. It's very short. They're all short. But hell yeah, man, this was great. This was just great. So I'm really looking forward to reading the next issue of that. So that takes care of that. Before I do the space system, I do want to show you guys a shirt from my channel sponsor, beardedshirts.com. Oh yeah, Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. This is my absolute favorite shirt ever. It's so bright and colorful. Like, I mean, this is crazy, guys. I love Superboy, as you know. Legion, I do stream every Monday. Just love this shirt. Check out beardedshirts.com. If you join my channel as a member, we put you into a draw every month to win stuff from Bearded Shirts. And if you're a new member, we make sure that every new member at least gets a shirt on the next month cycle, on the next cycle. So check that out. Okay, on to the actual review. I'm going to give the storyline a 1. So it's between 0 and 2. 2 is the best you can get. So I'm going to give it 1 because 2 stories were really damn good. 1 was like okay, and you know, the other 2 were like, I wasn't dying over as much. So I'm going to give it a 1, which is still kind of a pass overall for the entire issue. Pacing on the entire issue, I'm going to have to give it a 2 out of 2. I mean, this magazine's killer. The stories are very fast paced. I read this and I was like, wow, it's already over. Absolutely amazing pacing. You're going to get that with anthologies because each story is like 6 pages or something, right? The art, I'm going to give it a 1.5. I would say most of the art in this issue was really damn good. So great stuff, especially the Dread stuff and especially Silver. I really liked the way that looked. I think it was really neat. It gave me some heavy metal vibes. The characters, tough with anthology. I'm going to give it a 1.5 for characters because I love Judge Dredd, so he's automatically awesome. I love the characters in Silver, and Rogue Trooper was pretty damn cool. So I gotta give it a 1.5 because the characters in those 3 stories, but in particular, were really great. Looking forward to reading more Rogue Trooper. Enjoyment factor of the entire comic, the entire mag, I'm going to give it a 1.5. I really enjoyed this one, mostly because of those 2 bookend stories and the Rogue Trooper story. So those 3 were really the highlights, and that really pushed it over the edge. It pushed it over the 1, so into the 1.5 category. Overall score for this one is a 7.5 out of 10. That's very good. It's an anthology book. I think those 3 stories that I mentioned, the 2 bookend ones are damn good. The Rogue Trooper one is really nice. I do have to go back and read the previous parts of that Rogue Trooper to kind of catch up on it. The other two stories were okay. Wasn't dying over them that much. So 7.5 out of 10. Let me know in the comments if I should continue with 2000 AD and Dread. I'm looking forward to getting back into these pretty heavy. With just the decline of sort of your mainstream comics, I have to turn to these ones like Conan and Deathstalker, and Elric just came out. I'm turning back to these other companies that are around and giving them a go again. So that's it. Let me know what your thoughts are on this one, and thanks for watching. Until next time.